come to him, he'll never cast me out. I need no other argument, I need no other plea. It is enough that Jesus died, and that he died for me. My heart is leaning on the word, the written word of God. Salvation by my Savior's name, salvation through his blood. I need no other argument, I need no other plea. It is enough that Jesus died, and that he died for me. My great physician heals the sick, the lost he came to save. For me his precious blood he shed, for me his life he gave. I need no other argument, I need no other plea. It is enough that Jesus died, and that he died for me.
Good morning. Turn to John 21. John chapter 21, verse 15. Recently at work, God has been teaching me about leadership. I'm sure it's not news to many of you that I'm assistant manager at the store, and I'm hoping at some point, Lord willing, to take over the store down in the future if God wills and so on. At this point, I'm not in charge, but I have a lot to learn about what it means to be in charge. And recently, there's something came up at work, and I realized that I was overextending myself in a way I hadn't necessarily realized. And my dad had a good way of saying, he's like, relax a little bit and watch me. And I really appreciated that, because it gave me the freedom to stop trying to control things that weren't mine to control, to watch, just see how he does it. And really, really appreciated the freedom that gave me. And it spurred my mind onto what I believe God asked me to, or wants me to share this morning. So John chapter 21, verse 15 through 24. So when they had eaten breakfast, and this is after they got that big load of fish, and this time the net was not breaking, even though they had so many fish that were huge, or big fish, it said. The net not break. They ate breakfast. No one had asked Jesus if he was the Lord, because they all kind of knew it. But it seems like from the text they kind of wanted to ask anyway. So they get to this point, and verse 15. So when they had eaten breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me more than these? He said to him, Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. He said to him, Feed my lambs. He said to him again a second time, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me? He said to him, Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. He said to him, Tend my sheep. He said to him the third time, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me? Peter was grieved because he said to him the third time, Do you love me? And he said to him, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Jesus said to him, Feed my sheep. Most assuredly I say to you, when you were younger, you girded yourself and walked where you wished. But when you are old, you will stretch out your hands, and another will gird you and carry you where you do not wish. And this he spoke, signifying by what death he would glorify God. And when he had spoken this, he said to him, Follow me. Then Peter, turning around, saw the disciple whom Jesus loved following, who also had leaned on his breast at the supper and said, Lord, who is the one who betrays you? Peter, seeing him, said to Jesus, But Lord, what about this man? Jesus said to him, If I will that he remain till I come, what is that to you? You follow me. Then this saying went out among the brethren that this disciple would not die yet. Jesus did not say to him that he would not die, but if I will that he remain till I come, what is that to you? This is the disciple who testifies of these things and wrote these things, and we know that his testimony is true. So, when Jesus asked Peter to feed his sheep, in a sense, he's putting on Peter the responsibility to find food to lead these sheep out to pasture. And that's different than just following somebody out to pasture. You're now not only following Christ, but you're also taking care to watch for people in your care, in your charge. So you're finding food, you're leading them out there, you're also protecting them. And as I was studying for this, Anna reminded me, she's like, so we've had a lot of Sunday school lessons on leadership lately. And she's like, it might be good to bring out the point that we all are leaders. And I know this in my head, right? We all know, yeah, we're leaders. It's almost a cliche saying, right? Anybody else feel like it's a little cliche? But it's true. But I had to think about it. How are we leaders? Like, and flesh it out a little bit more. What does that mean? So another thought that came to my head was, what level of leadership is required before we start thinking about leadership principles? What level of leadership do we have to be in before we all of a sudden think of ourselves as, I'm a leader, I need to be careful what I do now? Now, you know that, in your head, you should always do this, right? But think back to the last time that it actually came into your head. I need to be careful what I'm doing because I'm a leader. Ministry, head of household. How about a Christian leaving a good example? Now, have you ever learned from someone's life who is not in a leadership position? Any of you? I think I have. I can't bring anything to mind right now. But yeah, you learn from people that aren't in leadership positions. And if you follow that, you, by definition, make them a leader. And they don't have the chance to go back and make their example any better than they left it. What they did is done, but you just made them a leader. In the same way, the example you leave behind could end up making you a leader, but you don't have a chance to make that example any better than you choose to do right now. And you won't know if that will impact somebody's life or not. Leaders are basically ordinary people, being faithful in little and faithful in much. Leaders are simply people who truly follow Christ. If you're using your self-will to follow Jesus, you're a leader. We all have a free will and we all leave an example, but those who follow Jesus leave an example that could make them a leader for good. And the point isn't necessarily for leadership principles. The point isn't how publicly God appoints you as a leader as to how many of these principles apply. That's not the point. You're a leader because people can watch you. And you can't hide your example. It's there. It's going to affect people. You can only change what your example looks like. You cannot hide your example. The more biblical you become, the more your example impacts others for good. I was thinking about the shepherd. Now, it's tempting to come here on Sunday morning and be like, yeah, so now we're getting pre-chewed food, right? So that means that the raw goods are coming from our devotions and the processed foods are coming from Sunday morning, right? And this could sort of be true in one way, but if you think about it differently, a shepherd doesn't feed his sheep generally by bringing them alfalfa, right? The shepherds in the Old Testament called their sheep by name out of a fold and led them. The only way the sheep got food was by walking with the shepherd and following the shepherd. And the only way the shepherd could give their sheep food was by finding green pastures and then taking their sheep there and protecting them on the way. No walk, no food, follow the shepherd, and there lies the green pasture. Let's turn to John 10, because Jesus talked about this. We'll start at verse 1. Most assuredly, I say to you, he who does not enter the sheepfold by the door, but climbs up some other way, the same as a thief and a robber. But he who enters by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the doorkeeper opens, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calls his own sheep by name, and leads them out. And when he brings out his own sheep, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. Yet they will by no means follow a stranger, but will flee from him, for they do not know the voice of strangers. Jesus used this illustration, but they did not understand the things which he spoke to them. Then Jesus said to them again, Most assuredly I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All who ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved, and go in and out and find pasture. The thief does not come except to steal and to kill and to destroy. I have come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. But a hireling, he who is not the shepherd, one who does not own the sheep, sees the wolf coming and leaves the sheep and flees. And the wolf catches the sheep and scatters them. The hireling flees because he is a hireling and does not care about the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep and am known by my own. As the Father knows me, even so I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they will hear my voice, and there will be one flock and one shepherd. In order to lead sheep out, you're going to have to know the sheep, and the sheep have to know you, right? And that is not going to come by simply going up and making introductions. Hey, sheep, black sheep, I'm Jeremiah. Nice to meet you. I found green pasture, and I'm supposed to take care of you today, so let's go. Doesn't happen, right? The sheep have to get to know you, and they have to get to know you on a way that they can trust you. If they get to know you and you're a bad person to know, they're going to distrust you. They're still not going to follow you. It's not just knowing the sheep, it's also being trustworthy as the sheep get to know you. And I was interested there how Jesus said this. I know my sheep, and a lot of times we come back to that. Jesus knows me. But Jesus said, I am known by my own. Jesus' sheep know Jesus. And how many times do we take that time to be with our shepherd and to know him so that we can hear his voice when he's leading us to green pastures out of our dry desert? In your life, as you think about leaving a good example and being a shepherd in whatever capacity it is, whether you're leaving a good example, whether you're a minister, whether you're a head of household, whether you're a mom, whether you're an older sister, people need trustworthy examples, and they evaluate you. Everybody does. Everybody has an opinion about you. And all they need to do to change that opinion or to build their profile is to look at how you treat any human being which God created. Are you kind or bitter? And this could be anybody. It could be somebody that did something against you and they don't know it, but they still see how you treat them. How you treat them is how you treat them. Do you forgive or resent them? Do you take time to listen? Do you care about what they say? And people are quick evaluators. If you're good, they will see it and learn and grow from being with you. And if you're bad, they catch on quick to that as well. So when it comes to leaving a good example, the question then remains, if people are such good evaluators, don't they know me already? That's true. They do. They have an opinion about you, but they might not know you very well. So think about the last person, or think about someone, I'm going to say in church, but it could be also in life. Think about someone you don't talk to often. Find somebody that you're like, yeah, I think I don't talk to them very often, so that'll work for this scenario. Ask yourself, how do they see me? How does that person you don't talk to real often see you? All right. Now, let's not be ridiculous. You can't be best friends with everybody. You can't. You can be a good shepherd without being best friends with everybody. It's impossible to be best friends with everybody. But let's not be stupid either, because every person has an opinion of you, including that one that you don't talk to often. And it is somewhat based on what they see of you. Now, if you take that person, they and you both know that no person is unimportant to God. Assuming that, they believe in God. Well, they and you both know that no person is unimportant to God. But when we believe it in our heart, they know. When we believe it in our heart, how we live it, they know. They know whether we believe that. They can tell what kind of reaction they get when they talk to you. As soon as you turn around, they can tell what you think of them. If you appreciated listening to them and rejoiced with what they had that they had found their favorite paperclip under their bed, they start to trust you. You're kind and thoughtful. I mean, who cares about a paperclip, right? But if they do, and you rejoice with them, they get that. They probably got some other people that did not care about that, and they recognize that you were different. If you just would rather stare off into space as talk with them, they pick up on that too. They're going to catch on to that. Your example in how you respond to people is making a trail, and people can see where it is going. And sometimes they'll tell you, I don't see a good path here. I'm concerned. Other times, they see good things, and they're like, thank you. I learned something. I need to do better in this area, and I appreciate that you showed me how. A good shepherd is to find out where the green pastures are, and sometimes we all face times of hungering and thirsting, and I think that's good. Sometimes we eat up the grass that's under our feet, and it's time to move on. And that's where we really appreciate what Jesus said, seek and you will find. And with Jesus telling Peter, feed my sheep, I have to ask the question, what feed is Peter supposed to give? Is Peter supposed to digest the Bible and tell it to them? Is that feeding the sheep? Is Peter supposed to just point them to the Bible and say, read this? Is that feeding the sheep? What does it mean to feed the sheep? In my devotions this morning, Psalm 37, verse 3 says, trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and feed on his faithfulness. Feeding could be done in seeing God's faithfulness in the Bible. It could be done in piecing together the different things that Jesus said and explaining the doctrine in a practical way to live it out. It could also be done in telling a story of how God was faithful in your life. God's faithfulness is feed. And the only way to truly feed on them is to personally walk in them. Remember, the shepherd doesn't carry the hay right to the sheep. The sheep walks with the shepherd. And the only way it gets food is to walk with the shepherd, right? And the only way for the shepherd to feed the sheep is to lead his own way. You, in your life, you have to personally walk in God's truth and in his promises and experience those things for you to have food. And for you also to feed them. Feeding them doesn't mean giving them food. It means leading them. And leading is done by your personal walk. To feed sheep, to leave a good example, you have to personally do the truth yourself and let them follow on their own accord. You can call them by name, and that is your job. But you have to do it yourself. To feed sheep, all we need is faithful obedience to God's truth and love. Love for them and faithful obedience to God in our own walk. Ways to help show that love and call people with grudges, with someone who has something against you. They're hard to beat. But I found a blessing lately as I was thinking about that scenario at work, how I was messing something up. And Proverbs says, a gift given in secret pacifies anger. The last time somebody helped you out with something, and it was very small and unnoticed by everybody else, but you know they did it for you. Did that mean anything to you at all? Did you think about it? I mean, if you noticed it, you thought about it a little bit. But think about that. Now, if you would have if you pick that person, let's say that they were just, their life was kind of full of that. That makes a good leader, right? Wouldn't you want someone like that to be your leader? Someone who is serving. When it comes to grudges, even nice things can be sometimes taken wrong. But obviously, doing the wrong thing is not going to get you any further. Patience and being kind is the best chance that you have to leave a good example and let your example lead them as they are willing to see it. Another thing you can do in leading your example, even in your peer group, pray for people. Remember, how did it feel the last time someone you didn't expect to said that they were praying for you? Praying is an act of care, and praying for them also reminds us of God's desires and perspective, which helps us to remember to care for them. One of the biggest takeaways I had in that thing at work was this thing of control. What was I trying to control? Was it my responsibility how they view me? Or was it my responsibility what example I left? And I came to the conclusion it is not my responsibility to make sure that they view me correctly. It is my responsibility to leave a good example. And the best thing I can do to make wrong things right and to make a poor example a good one is to be quiet. A lot of talking doesn't get you real far, especially if somebody has something against you. Being quiet and calm, doing the right thing, and not seeking for attention from it. They can't control how you view and treat them either, just like you can't control how they view and treat you. When you're being a good example to your spouse or to anybody, being quiet and doing the right thing is about one of the quickest ways I can think of to show God's love. When you let God control your reputation, and all you do is work in controlling your response, that letting go of your control of the reputation, letting God control those things, and just controlling your response, actually takes away some of the punch that they have when they try and attack your reputation. Take some of that punch away, but more importantly, it shows you have surrender and security. You have security in God, and you have surrendered things that are out of your control into God's hands. You're going to control what's your responsibility. God's sheep need fed, and the only way to feed them is through your own example of walking faithfully. So know people. Take time to notice them. Make sure you're not responding in any sort of negative way to people. Lead them to the faithfulness of God in your own faithfulness. Do the things they need to be doing. You see something they need to be improving in. Make sure that you're doing it yourself and doing it well. Follow the shepherds God has placed in your life, even as you want people to follow your example. Now, I was going to work on this sermon Monday or Tuesday night, whatever. Monday night and possibly Tuesday night. Well, we had a search. I didn't cut out Monday, and I forget what happened Tuesday. Tuesday, I think I might have been, I don't know if I was low on sleep or what. So anyway, I started working on this Friday evening and Saturday. And about mid-Saturday afternoon, I looked at what I had, and it looked more like a rant. And I was like, I don't know if this is necessarily helpful for any of you. So I had to start over. And I ended up with a decent amount of notes, and we're short. But I also remember, Anna reminded me of something that one of the songwriters that we went through in that songwriting thing that Keith and Heidi had arranged on a Sunday afternoon, along with, I forget who else was with you on that. One of them would sometimes write a song to go with the sermon, and I did that today. And it's a short song. It's simple. There's not tons of, we're not explaining the Trinity in the song, okay? It's simple. It's about feed my sheep, and it's about practical ways to do it. But I'll pass it out, and I'd love to teach it to you. But first, let's close with a word of prayer. Dear God, thank you for being a good shepherd and walking this path yourself, leaving the example for us to follow. Thank you for the call to feed your sheep, and for not only calling us to it, but giving us every single thing we need to do it, and also in controlling our own lives and surrendering ourselves to you, walking in your ways. You have made that to be what helps lead other people to the same thing. And I thank you for that wisdom, Lord, and how you have designed it to work. I pray that you would be with each of us as we go out this week and seek to set a good example, that you would continue to guide us and convict us and cleanse us from the areas in our life that we need to grow in, and also that you would work in us to leave from us a good example to other people in a way that they could more easily see. In Jesus' name, amen. Anyone missing something? Okay. I practiced this earlier with Wayne and Hannah and Anna, so we got some people that know it. But I'll sing the melody with yeah, you could just jump right into parts. I'll sing the melody with the soprano. Feed my sheep, said Christ, feed my sheep, said he, where still waters lie, where the grass is green. Lovest thou me more than these? Go and feed my sheep, feed them for me. Know them by their name, listen to their pain, help their weary soul, come and be made whole. When their way is dark, love them from your heart, go and share their load, go walk with them the road. Feed my sheep, said Christ, feed my lambs, said he, where still waters lie, where the grass is green. Lovest thou me more than these? Go and feed my lambs, feed them for me. Know them by their name, listen to their pain, help their weary soul, come and be made whole. When their way is dark, love them from your heart, go and share their load, go walk with them the road. Tend my sheep, said Christ, tend my sheep, said he, I am by your side, I will be. All your needs supply, all your longings meet. Go and feed my sheep, feed them for me. Know them by their name, listen to their pain, help their weary soul.